Hi and welcome to a new crochet along with me vlog episode. In this one I'm knitting, but usually it's crochet. I invite you to pick up a project that you are working on and to join me for a few minutes of chatter about what's been happening and what's coming up in the near future. And I would love to know what you're making, so let me know in the comments. We usually begin this vlog with a comment from the previous episode. So now I'm going to read one to you from Fiona C1. I love the dress, the colors are so pretty. So thank you so much, Fiona. Last month I showed you a dress that I finished, and this month I have another dress to show you. It's not exactly finished, but we can start the whip presentation with that one. So usually I show you what I've been working on, which is works in progress, what I finished, and what's upcoming. For the first whip that I started a few weeks ago, I have it in a bucket because it's big and I've been carrying it around me for the past week. It's big. This is the top part with straps like these ones, but closer together so they don't fall off your shoulder. And then a dress part with lace. And I wanted to make it long enough, but I didn't have enough yarn in one color, so I started adding these colors, and I still have orange and red to make this into a rainbow dress. And I maybe at the bottom I will find some light blue in my stash. I have something similar to finish it off with some scallops to pretend they're part of the sky. So this is what I've been working on during the past week while recovering from the flu. You can probably hear in my voice I sound like I'm speaking from the bottom of a barrel. Sorry for that. A whole week I was out of commission. I didn't do anything, and this past week I've been working on this because it's quite portable if you put it in a bucket. It's worked with 2 hooks, so I worked it in the round with a double-ended hook with a cable. And the yarn is from Hobie, the rainbow 8x4 100% cotton. So this should be a nice summer dress, and even with layers in the autumn, maybe over a shirt, I will be able to wear it with leggings. It's quite hefty, and the lace will open up once I iron it. Now it's quite it's not open, but you can see the lace pattern. So I plan on making this into a pattern after I write up the other summer top patterns that I have in progress, including this one that I'm wearing now. But yeah, it's gonna take some time to make it into a pattern. So far in here there are 350 plus 50, so that's 400, 500 and some grams of yarn at 170 meters per 50 grams. That's 1700 meters of yarn, and I'm making size 3, so no ease at the bust. The nice thing about these patterns that I'm making with the same gauge is that you can mix and match. So if you like this kind of strap, there will be a taller piece here for the neckline as well, and the lace from another pattern you will be able to use the same size from either pattern, and to make the top part and the bottom part from each pattern, so you'll be able to mix the patterns. I still want to design another one with a halter top style, so just one piece here in the back, and a t-shirt, just a crew neck with short sleeves, and I have another design that has a very low back. So all of these will be interchangeable, so you'll be able to mix and match the lace part with the top part. Since this is so big, I won't be working on it right now, and I wanted to have it finished to film this vlog in it, but as the project grows bigger, it's more difficult to work on it because you have to keep turning it to work in the round, so it's quite a lot of work, and yeah, I got tired of it after non-stop working on it for the whole week. I used this to film a tutorial that I will edit and publish here on the channel on how to join two pieces to start working in the round. And I also filmed a tutorial on how to start working in the round with a double-ended hook. And I still need to make another video tutorial on how to work in the round with a cable, just one hook and a cable. And this is the sample that I made for that tutorial. It has hearts with reverse stitches. If you use a different color for the return pass, you will have these stand out more. So this will be a pattern for Valentine's. This will be the yearly heart pattern. And a cowl, as you know, I like to make cowls. So this is another project that I've been working on during this month, and it's quite boring. So yeah, wool with acrylic. I don't like the part about acrylic because it's quite sticky and I'm not a fan. So this one you've seen before, worked like this. It looks more and more like bacon, which is funny, so maybe it will have a bacon related name when it's finished. I decided to not make it into an infinity cowl. I will finish up the yarn that I have and seam this up, because when you scrunch it up around the neck, it's quite voluminous, and if I made twice the amount of fabric that I have here, it will be too much. So this is good enough. If I were to make an infinity cowl with a similar pattern in the future, I would make it much narrower, so half of the width here, just 2 or 3 pattern repeats, and then I would make it longer to seam it up into an infinity cowl, and that would be much better for the neck. And yes, I still have one more ball of this yarn, so I'll probably make a different but similar pattern to this one to show some variations in working with old shale patterns. And it's cute because it looks like bacon, and I also look like bacon today, so today is the day of the bacon. I don't know when I will have that finished. I want to make a video tutorial for it as well for the autumn, so maybe I will work on it in August or September, I don't know. But until then, I hope to have the piece itself finished. Another whip that I showed you previously, the knit version of the Plumaria capelet. This is how far I've come. So there are 6 of these feathers, and I used 5. I made 5.5 feathers from one ball of yarn, and I have 2 more. But this one has some bad bits in the middle, in the beginning, so I will skip that part, and so maybe I will end up with 15 feathers in total, something to that of that nature. I hope to finish this soon, but it's a project that requires concentration and it needs me to sit next to the pattern, read the pattern and work on it, because I can't memorize all the rows. There are 40 something rows in the pattern and it's too much to keep to learn. Since none of these projects is easily portable, and I went on a trip a few weeks ago before I got the flu, I wanted to have a project to take with me on the train, and I started the knit version of the fiery opal shawl with this yarn. It's the Alizé Diva Ombre Batik, and it has a smooth gradient, but it's 100% microfiber and I don't actually like it very much. It's the only cake that I bought with this fiber and I will not buy it again. It's very slinky and it has a good drape, but I'm not a fan of working with it. I still have 4 balls of this yarn in one color, dark red, from at least 6 years ago. I haven't yet found what project would work well with that yarn, so it's quite fragile, the cake as well, so I will put it back. And as you can see, the lace looks very similar to the fiery opal shawl, except it's knitting. This is just knit. So I'm trying to translate some of my lace patterns from Tunisian crochet to knitting, so that the people who only knit can also have access to these. So we have the Plumaria capelet, and I also want at some point to make the macaw wings shawl into knit version, but that will take too much work and I don't have the mental capacity to do that right now. So hopefully I'll be able to make these two, and then we'll see if anyone is interested in making the macaw wings shawl in the knit version as well. It's not a direct translation from Tunisian crochet stitches to knit stitches, and I need to work on the pattern and to make the sample before I can send it out for testing. So that's what I'll be working on in this video if I ever take a break. And I still have the filet crochet shawl that we talked about, and I had to unravel the middle so many times because I kept making different mistakes there. I thought I had more of the yarn in the middle, and then I designed extra rows, but in the end I had to unravel and just follow the pattern as it was originally designed, because I just had enough yarn to reach the middle of the pattern. So yay. Which means I'm still stuck at the middle of the project, but that's not really a problem. It will get done when it gets done, and that's it. These filet patterns are just, let's call them a guilty pleasure of mine, because they're not super useful and I don't really have anywhere to wear them. Maybe I will use them around the house as decoration, because they're just rectangular wraps. I did think about designing one that's not a rectangle, but it has some zigzags or something on the bottom as you work the pattern. So that's up next in the gradient filet shawl idea, but that's quite long term. One more thing that I've been working on is, this will get frogged, but I want to share it with you anyway. So I tried so hard to make honeycomb lace pattern in Tunisian crochet for a bandana, and this is the best that I got and I hate it. You can't really see the lace, and when you see the lace you can actually see the honeycomb pattern. So I will frog this, and I will have another simpler pattern to make the honeycomb. And yeah, I wanted to make a pair of patterns like this again, Tunisian crochet and knitting, and it's, yeah, for now it's a thing. I did frog it several times and start again, and it didn't work, so it is what it is. I actually started this yesterday and made a version with leaves, and I still need to make a tassel and attach it to the bottom because I just finished it a few minutes ago. I hope you can see it well. And this has the Tunisian crochet leaves, and the knitting pattern is quite a common one. It's very often used in all sorts of patterns. So I will also make one knit version of this, not in the same color because I only have one one ball of this color, but it's beautiful, isn't it? Nice and shiny. It's very understated. So this will be the cottagecore bandana pattern. And I plan on making this into a pattern soon because it's just quite straightforward, and you just take the pattern from the chart. And same with the knit one that I will make. I have this yarn. Should work well. And while working on the pattern for a blanket, a baby blanket that uses this stitch pattern, I decided to make this bandana, and then I realized what I should make from this yarn that I bought as a souvenir from this last trip I took. This is 35% silk, 35% alpaca, and 30% merino wool. And initially I wanted to make a small scarf. I have 4 of these, so I have 4 times 175 meters. But then I thought that maybe it would be nicer to make it into a tank top or vest that works like this with a V shape. And for the bigger sizes I will make sure that the straps are closer to the neckline, so the V in the front will be smaller than the V on the side, and that should work out, hopefully. I would like to have this as a vest with this stitch pattern, but maybe with smaller leaves, so one less row for each stitch pattern repeat. That's a plan for the near future after I finish writing up some other things, because as you can see I have a lot of stuff, and I also have other patterns ready to go. This one I need to publish. I've been saying this for a few months now. I did publish the Tunisian crochet version, but I need to get out the knit one as well. I have 2 more of these made from last year that I didn't make into patterns. This one is very similar to a pattern I just published, and that's the sunny citrine shawl. I showed you this in a tutorial a year ago where I showed you how to start Tunisian crochet in the magic ring, and it's been a year, but it's finally ready, so I just published this. It's very simple, and the same thing that you see here going on is happening here as well. So yeah, I should get this published, and this is just honeycomb stitch. And I don't remember if I have enough yarn to make a tassel, but maybe I should look it up. This is just a honeycomb, and this is really for beginners. but I haven't written it up, even though it's just 2 rows. Yeah, so I told you about this and this. These 2 were published this month. Even with the big flu and not being at home much, I was able to publish these, and I've been preparing yarn for future projects and patterns. I had some ugly cotton yarn, similar to this one but much thicker, and it was speckled from the factory, so I overdyed it. And while I was at it, I also overdyed some yarn that was on a cone. So one day I found some yarn on a cone like this one in a second-hand shop in Romania on a trip, and it was similar to this in color, but it was a bit thicker and mostly wool with cashmere. But I didn't like the color and it was difficult to work with, so I overdyed it. So imagine this cone a bit fuller, so it was about this much yarn on it, and this is how much yarn there was, plus one more of these. So that's 500 grams and should be enough to make a sweater. And yeah, it's tonal, it's not the same color at all from one skein to the next, and it's not a problem. So this will be the yarn for a new sweater. And it fluffed up after I washed it, well, after I dyed it. It's much thicker than it was when it was on the cone. I don't know how. That's planned to be used in the near future after I make it into cakes and I make some swatches. I have a piece here from something that I'd made previously. I think in thickness it's about 400 meters per 100 grams, or maybe a bit more, between 400 and 500 meters per 100 grams. So it's not quite lace, but it's close to lace weight. That's pretty much it for projects in June. Let me know in the comments what you've been working on, what you finished, if you want to share. I always enjoy hearing about your projects. I like to see them too. If you are on social media and you share there, I will maybe see it. There's a lot of stuff to do, but I want to take it slowly because I'm quite tired after pushing for the past 2 months to get the summer top patterns published, and I'm very happy that they're doing okay. The mulberry summer top and dress is doing much better than the other one, and it's funny to me how these things work. Maybe if I make it in a single color, the other one will also gain some popularity. I don't know, we'll see. I will probably make another one because these are very comfortable to wear, especially in this kind of yarn that has a bit of elastic in it. The fabric is very comfortable to wear, and it just hugs your body. And yeah, these straps are not the greatest, but in the actual pattern they are much closer to the neck, so they don't tend to fall off like this. This was a learning curve thing for me, so it takes time to learn how to design things that work for bodies and not just based on clothes that you have in one size, you know. For next month, I am planning to publish the PDF for the Plumeria capelet and the leaf pattern for the baby blanket and for the bandana. And I think that's ambitious enough for a summer month when it's too warm to sit inside and work on the computer. And yeah, ideally I will be writing up this pattern and the next one with the thicker straps and higher neckline for the dress. So What's more difficult here is to write up the straps themselves. For this one, I have the straps already done. I'm using the stitch counts from the previous 2 patterns, but I will change them a bit more to make the straps even closer than they are in those patterns, so that all sizes have a nice strap here. And for the other one, I need to modify the straps even more because I want to lift up the neckline for both the front and the back. So I will lift up the neckline in front a bit and in the back a lot more, and then you can use either version that you like, so you have the best neckline for your desired. So that will take some time. And I'm also working on a new website that will be faster. Hopefully I will be able to finish it by the end of summer so that I can launch the new website with updated content, because I'm also revamping the blog posts to make them conform to current standards in writing. Yeah, that's it for me for this month. I will see you at the end of July. Hopefully, if things go well, I will be able to film from outdoors. If not, you will see me from in here. And I wish you a nice month of July, and I will see you soon. Bye.